This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Thursday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. That right there. It's Kelly Midland, everybody.
Hey, how we doing? Good morning.
How you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just realizing that I'm sitting very far away from our designated spots.
Why?
There's a lot of distance between us.
Oh, you missed your mark?
Yeah, I missed my mark.
Kid missed his mark.
Sorry, Larry. I'll fix it at the break.
We got marks, by the way. Just like we're on stage or something. Kelly missed his mark. Come back. You'll come back later.
Yeah.
On the show today, it is a Thursday. You know what that means? Zach and Crack comedy duo. Zach Cohen joining us, VSiN senior editor. Talk tennis if he has any plays on the Asian swing. On the ladies' side, maybe have some indoor hard on the men's side. We'll look at that. Week 7 thoughts from Zach. NBA thoughts from Zach. We'll try to glean more from his authoring of the NBA betting guide. We'll try to give it all away, but whatever things he can share with us. Season-long thoughts and bets with Zach. And, of course, Crack. Unscripted with the Crack Man, Bill Krackomberger, the headliner of the show each and every Thursday. Hour number 3, of course, these days. And a special inside of the special. We consider Crack a special hour, right?
Yep.
Does it get more special than the Crack Hour? And a special inside of the special. I never want to say this because you're never 100% sure this is going to happen, but I believe we will have in studio a gentleman by the name of Terrence Watanabe. Do you know who that is?
I do lightly, Gil. I'm very much looking forward to this today, though.
Terrence Watanabe is considered to have lost, of all individuals in the history of Las Vegas, certainly at the time, the most money ever, over $200 million. He inherited his father's business, grew his father's business into a fortune, sold, and then proceeded to lose all of it in Las Vegas casinos. And he is a gentleman to come on the show today, and we will talk to him about his experiences, which casinos treated him well, which were predatory, what his message is for everybody, how he's doing today. So looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. Crack doing a great job booking the show.
Crack
doing a great job.
Thank God somebody's producing this stuff. Also on the show today, Tim Murray, college football. We'll talk college football with him, the VSiN college football betting podcast host, and of course, college football tailgate host, not to mention, his side gig on VSiN Primetime. And then Wes Reynolds, who was just on the Megapod yesterday. We'll talk college football with him. He is just joyful over his Indiana Hoosiers.
Oh, I bet.
I sent him a text. He was talking about this on the Megapod yesterday. I sent him a text as Indiana was winning that game on Saturday against Oregon. And about half hour later, I got a two-word text back. And the first word was holy. That's all he texted me back. Jensen Lewis going to join us momentarily to talk Major League Baseball. In fact, let's start there. Baseball yesterday. Toronto Blue Jays, they ain't done. Blue Jays yesterday opened up a can against the Seattle Mariners, and they're like, you are not taking the 3-0 lead on us in the best of 7 ALCS. We got something to say about this. And they did. 13-4. The Jays get it done. 5 homers, 18 hits. Yeah, man, George Kirby was not good yesterday. The Seattle, for those who missed it, got out to the 2-0 lead. Julio Rodriguez with a 2-run shot in the bottom of the first, and you're like, oh, this is going to be more of the same. Mariners just going to roll.
There we go.
And it looked like Bieber could be had, but they did not capitalize on more than just that. And then in the top of the third, that's where it all started for the Blue Jays. Clement, who's just been ridiculous this postseason, doubles. Jimenez with the home run, make it 2-2. That's the bottom of their order. The 8-9 hitters, you're like, oh boy. Lucas one out single, Vlad double. 2 batters later, Kirk, your boy, Kelly loves a hamburger.
Yep.
2 out walk, bases loaded, wild pitch made it 3-2, and then a Varsho double made it 5-2. And just like that, the game had reversed, and then it was just the Jays adding on. Springer 2 out solo shot in the 4th, 6-2. Vlad a leadoff solo shot in the 5th, 7-2. They'd get it to 8-2 on a Clement 2-out RBI single later that frame. Top 6. Lucas RBI ground out 9-2, and then several batters later, Kirk 3-run ding-dong 12-2. The Mariners would add a couple garbage solo shots back-to-back in the 8th on Rosarena and Raleigh, the big dumper, 12-4. And then Addison Barger would say, here you go, here's one more solo shot for good measure. 13-4 is how we get to that. And Game 4 is tonight. It's the second. We have a doubleheader today, and it looks like we will have a doubleheader tomorrow. So we've got doubleheader today, doubleheader tomorrow, no matter what. And these will be the last two doubleheaders. After today and tomorrow, Kelly, it is solo baseball. That's it. One game at a time. But the second of the two games today is Game 4 of the ALCS, Jays at Mariners. And this one, we know here that it's going to be Scherzer versus Castillo. Luis Castillo on the year, 3.54 ERA. The advanced stats a little worse than that. 32 games started this year, 18 quality, including the last 4 of the regular season. 21.7% K rate is kind of lower than his career rate. Not kind of, it is, by a few percentage points. In this postseason, he pitched Game 2 versus Detroit in the previous round, 4 2/3 innings for Castillo. Gave up no earned runs on 1 hit, 3 Ks, but he did issue 4 walks. And then Game 5, if you remember the decider versus Detroit, where the Mariners pieced it together with 7 different pitchers that extra inning game. He was the one who closed it out and got the win with 1 1/3 innings, gave up no earned runs, 1 K, no walks on 15 pitches to get himself the win. A 15-pitch win for Castillo in that ball game. So it's Castillo going up against Scherzer. Max Scherzer sighting, ladies and gentlemen, after 85 innings pitched this year with a 5.19 ERA. Oy vey. Advanced stats, not much better. Speaking of being below your career K rate, Max Scherzer, 22.9% K rate in this, the dawn of his career, one might say. 17 games started this year, and in those 85 innings pitched, only 6 quality of those 17. Again, quality defined by 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs or less. And all 6 of those were in July and August. So the Blue Jays hoping against hope. I never really understood that expression. Hoping against hope. Do you take hope and then you pit it against other hope?
Yeah, apparently.
Someone's going to have to explain that to me. They are hoping that they get vintage Scherzer here. Like that they can eke together 4 or 5 innings. They would take that in a heartbeat right now. Max Scherzer of vintage Scherzer. And Seattle right now. What are you seeing the line here in Game 4, Kelly, that comes on the screen?
Seattle about minus 120 to 128 favorites on the board right now.
Not too different from yesterday. Maybe a couple pennies less. But shop around again. Seattle trying to extend it to 3-1. Jays trying to even it up at 2 apiece. Remember, it's at 2-3-2. So Game 5 tomorrow at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, no matter what now. No matter what the result is of tonight's game. The first of the 2 games today is the Brewers at the Dodgers. We know that Glasnow is going for the Dodgers. Tanner Glasnow with a 3.19 ERA this year. Advanced stats pretty much in line with that. A little, the 2.25 BABIP has been very fortunate, so they're a little worse than his 3.19 ERA. 29% K rate on the year. Just opposing batters only hitting 175 against him. Is that good? I'm told that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And in this postseason, Game 1 at Philly, Glasnow in relief, remember, of a Shohei start. 1 2/3 inning pitch, no earned runs, 2 hits, 2 Ks, 2 walks. And then Game 4 versus Philly, he started. He went 6 strong, 6 innings of shutout ball, 2 hits, 8 Ks, 3 walks. If the Dodgers get from Glasnow any semblance of what they got from Blake Snell and Yoshinobu Yamamoto in Game 2, good God, this thing's over already. Minus 188 on the Dodgers. And speaking of, who's he up against, this is a piecemeal game for the Brewers, right? We don't know who's starting yet. And we're doing this the morning of. Mm-hmm. We're only 7 hours before game time or something?
And old undecideds on the board still.
Let's call it 8 hours to be exact. So that's, they don't know. So is it going to be McGill? Is it going to be nobody beats the Miz? What's it going to be? We'll see.
Bigger difference in pricing on this game, Gil. Definitely shop around if you're betting this one. I'm seeing the Dodgers as low as minus 184 on the board and as high as minus 199. Because DraftKings doesn't want to make them $2 favorite, apparently.
We'll get Jensen Lewis' thoughts on this game, on both games today and beyond in baseball. Also his favorite NFL pick of the week as well. Of course, there is NFL tonight. Week 7 begins Thursday Night Football. Good sports day. Steelers at the Bengals tonight in a AFC North clash. I don't know what you say about this game. You're looking at some of the stats. Pittsburgh currently ranks 9th in the league in points per play. Their defense ranks 5th in points allowed per play. On the other hand, though, Carson Wentz threw for 350 against them, a lot in garbage time against them in week 4, but still.
Yeah.
Bengals, every way we slice it up, they don't look good. Bengals 30th in the league in passing offense and yards per game. Last, 32nd in rushing yards per game. They entered the game having allowed at least 27 points, 5 consecutive games. They're 29th in the league in scoring offense, 17.2 points per game. Obviously, on their third quarterback here. How about that? We're seeing a Flacco-Rodgers game.
Dude.
17 years after their debut.
There's plenty of old jokes available tonight between Scherzer, Rodgers, and Flacco all playing.
The Rodgers-Flacco, they both started an entire season in 2008.
That's wild.
We are in 2025? Is that correct?
That is correct. I heard the deep dive fellas make an AI mistake like I did yesterday, or a catch.
Where both teams lost the World Series?
Yeah, Drew was trying to figure out last time two 40-year-olds met, and same thing, he got bad AI results. But it was just in 2020 when Tom Brady and Drew Brees faced off.
Geez, so, I mean, any way you slice it with the Bengals, and we could slice 29th in yards per play allowed, an opponent's third down conversion rate while ranking 30th in the red zone. That's led to allowing an average of 30.5 points per game, and over the last 5 games, that average has jumped to 33.4. By the way, the Steelers' offense tied for 6th in red zone touchdown conversion percentage. On the other hand, the spread is the great equalizer, 5.5 points. I wouldn't imagine it's a different calculus now with Flacco having receivers that he has not had in a while of this caliber. Coming back, Jensen Lewis on baseball and more next.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Paulie on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Paul Charchian to talk Thursday night football and fantasy. What does he make of the move to Flacco? The meat man's back to talk Premier League and soccer. Brad Powers on a loaded college football schedule and the news out of Penn State. And Jay Morrison previews Bengals Steelers. What's going on in Cincinnati? And could they move Hendrickson at the deadline? Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN. The Sports Betting Network now, Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis or get the VSiN Watch app.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Do you have any play on the football game tonight? Anything?
No, I got nothing so far. I'm still looking at that over.
At the over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Cincinnati defense, so bad.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if the Steelers has been all that much better. And get another week at least with Flacco and these wide receivers. I'm a little bit more comfortable with this offense.
Bengals injury report is much worse than the Steelers. And the big name, of course, defensive end Trey Hendrickson and defensive tackle B.J. Hill. Well, B.J. Hill was a rest, but Hendrickson did not practice this week. Gesicki's out, we know, on offense, but it does not look like it's trending well for Hendrickson tonight.
Rappaport this morning, Hendrickson considered, quote, a bit of a long shot to play Thursday.
Right. And I'll just close at this because we want to talk to Jensen about baseball, but this is, the Steelers were saying their offensive stats are not good, yet they rank 9th in points per play, as I was mentioning, and their defense ranks 5th in points allowed. But so much of that is, right? So much of that kind of stuff can be explained by just simple turnover rate that we never bring up.
Yeah.
The Bengals have coughed the ball up 11 times this year. They have a -4 turnover margin. Pittsburgh's is +7. So that +7 rate it masks everything, right? Your stats can be bad, but if you're getting +7 in turnovers, things just break your way at the right times. Very Steeler-esque, if you will. No play for me. You're not playing Pittsburgh in Survivor, no?
No, I played them last week.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
not even a consideration, Gil.
So you should be on that train of hoping that every team you just played then gets knocked out.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is what prevented you from playing Arizona. You already played them.
That's right. Couldn't even consider them.
Survivor luck. Here's a guy who's alive in Survivor. Jensen Lewis joins us. He's the co-host of By the Books, which he does with, what's this guy's name? David Ross? What is that?
Something like that.
Oh, I never heard of that guy. Jensen Lewis, everybody, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. How you doing, Jensen?
Good, boys. Let's hope the Steelers don't lose for one more week because I will use them in Survivor for a couple of entries tonight. I'm with you guys. It's one of Tomlin's best ATS teams, too, he's gone up against. If I remember, last 18 times, 13-5-1. I will have nothing to do with the spread tonight, but I will likely play the Steelers here in Survivor as well.
How many entries do you have left, Jensen?
None in Circus Survivor, but in another Survivor pool, I have 3 left here. So I was with Kelly. I was debating last week. We had talked with Mike Palm, an awful scheduling spot for the Browns coming back from London. So I did subscribe to that, and a rookie quarterback going up on the road against that defense. I was happy to see that. So yes, I did the Raiders last week, guys, for Survivor, and I also played the Seahawks. And then I think the only other one, I have 3 entries left. I might play 2 with the Steelers, and I'm considering the Broncos. I still have the Broncos left to potentially play against the Giants.
What's your favorite ATS NFL Week 7 play?
I picked Arizona. We do a segment called Chaos Candidates, Gil, on the show, and Arizona was my Chaos candidate this week. I'm just not convinced. I don't know if you guys are about Green Bay going on the road into the desert. I don't care if it's Jacoby Brissett or it's Kyler Murray. I just feel like the 6.5 was a lot to be laying there when there's just not a lot of offensive continuity I can get behind. So love what I saw from Brissett coming to go against his old mates in Indianapolis this past week. Nearly turned the trick there. I don't know if they went outright, Gil, but I love where this Cardinals scheduling spot is against Green Bay.
I don't hate it. I have no feel for the Cardinals ever. And by the way, I hope they die a terrible death after what they did to some of us in Survivor.
Right. If I had to play a side in that game, it would be Arizona, though. Green Bay's had plenty of opportunities to kind of put up big numbers against opponents and really haven't done it.
All right, let's talk some baseball, Jen. We love having you here because you can give us a sort of player perspective. And I'm curious with, obviously, Toronto crushing the baseball yesterday against George Kirby. Like every one of those was hit hard contact yesterday. And so Toronto gets off the schneid. Game 4 today. They're trying to even it up at 2 apiece. But I'm just curious from your pitching perspective. In this game, we have Scherzer and Castillo. You as a reliever would know probably what situation or where you might come in. In the other game, though, if you're on the Milwaukee Brewers, right, it's Glass now against who knows at this point. How would you feel if you're in that dugout? Would you have hated that experience? Did you have that experience in your postseason run with the Indians? What do you think you would make of this today if you were in that dugout?
So let me start with the Jays and the Mariners, because I do think Scherzer finds some swing and miss, much in the same way that Shane Bieber did yesterday. We gave out to Bieber 5 or more strikeouts yesterday. That's the best his slider looked probably since being traded from Cleveland to Toronto. That was a real turn back the clock. Very sharp, very tight. I think Max Scherzer takes that into his game in his outing tonight. First time around the order. Will not be shocked if he tries to limit the amount of heaters that he throws, because that was really the problem down the stretch. Gill, 8 homers in his last 25 innings, could not keep the ball in the ballpark to save his life. So I would imagine if you want to play Scherzer over 3.5 strikeouts, you're probably going to pay through the nose a little bit. I'm seeing $1.58 on FanDuel as the best price right now. I think he can get there. Whether it's outs recorded, I may stay a little bit farther away from that. But I do think John Schneider has the advantageous ability now, with Bieber going as deep as he did, as a reliever, to kind of answer your question full circle. Now I don't have to worry about pitching 3 days in a row. If you need me to go 2 innings today, then all I have to worry about is getting ready to go one more inning in a game 5. And I'm home free because I have that off day. And hopefully in the Blue Jays mindset, that means you're going back to Rogers Center getting ready for a game 6. So that would be my take on where Scherzer is entering that one. Castillo, La Piedra, is going to be great at home. It's what he's been. He's been an absolute fortress there. So it wouldn't shock me if that's a little bit lower scoring. I think if I'm Pat Murphy, and I said this to Dave on the show today, I would rather have Trevor McGill be the opener. If you're going to do it, you got to win the first inning, and you got to at least get some momentum on your side. Now, I won't be shocked if it's Aaron Ashby again, and Quintana, is your bulk guy behind that. But ultimately, I would stay away from Jacob Mizorowski at all costs today. You're going to have a game 4. If it is on the line, then I got to go with my best guy and just sell out then. So I know the old adage is you can't worry about tomorrow till you get there. But in a sense, that's where I would go if I was Pat Murphy and the Brewers.
If anyone said to you, hey, look, Milwaukee, I like that price, right? It's teetering on plus 170. Value's value, I like the Brewers. You would say to them what?
But can they score? This is, I saw it yesterday. We were talking about it. DraftKings was giving the Brewers to get shut out at 8-1. That's down to plus 750. Now, they have traditionally this year been better on the road offensively. Do they break out of that? I don't know. This was a startling statistic, guys, and take this for whatever it's worth, watching the first 2 games from Snell and Yamamoto. Milwaukee is 0 for 34 with 12 strikeouts against non-fastballs this series. That's almost 62% of total pitches thrown against Milwaukee's offense. They cannot hit anything with spin. They cannot hit anything off speed. It has not been there. And Pat Murphy said it. They've chased way more in the first 2 games. Now, I also predicate that off of, this is elite stuff. That's the best Snell's looked all year. Yamamoto gives up the first pitch home run and then it just goes to the dark side, and they never had a shot. Now, I don't know if you guys subscribe to, the day off will help, and Glasnow will be the guy to get to. I would play the under on Glasnow strikeouts because I do think Milwaukee reins in the chase. I think they're more action early tonight, but I don't know, Gil. Where do you hang your hat? I have not seen anything offensively that would make me want to buy anything on a Milwaukee Brewers money line.
That's why I ask it, because when I used to model baseball, this would have been one of those where if I had seen value, right, quote unquote value on the Brewers, I would have looked at the model and I would have said, you know what, model schmodel. There's no chance in hell I'm playing this, because as I said yesterday, it's like, I don't forget about not winning the World Series. If you get starting pitching like that from Yamamoto, Snell, and we'll see what happens today with Glasnow and Shohei tomorrow, forget about not winning the World Series. They're not losing a game, right? That's how dominant they are. That said, let's just project forward to a potential World Series with apologies to the Brewers. Who, in your opinion, who's got the better puncher's chance? I mean, this is almost remarkable to even try to imagine a team beating this Dodgers team 4 out of 7. But if I said, okay, one of these 2 teams can, which is the one that you think has the better chance? Blue Jays or Mariners?
The easy answer is Seattle, Gil. I think just because they generate so much swing and miss top to bottom with their rotation and their leverage relievers, that if you were to play the matchup game, then Dan Wilson has far more options and with higher velocity to be able to use. Now, that's taking nothing away from Milwaukee because they've also had that, and the Dodgers have just blown right through them. I think just from a stylistic standpoint, what you get with, a potential Brian Wu, if, he doesn't go in game 5, Logan Gilbert's arsenal matches up really well, I think, against the Dodger lineup. I'm not even opposed to Kirby from a bounce back standpoint. I think he'll be okay with where you go up, especially against right on right. And honestly, the Mariner offense, that is where you're looking at. Like, if you got to hit the ball out of the ballpark, this is what the Mariners have been doing this year, and they can do it up and down the lineup. Yeah, you got a little bit from the Blue Jays yesterday, but I think overall, I think Seattle has the best chance.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you would say the Mariners have more than a puncher's chance based on what you just said.
I think so. If they need to swing big, then that's the one team that can counterpunch with the better of them.
Mariners to beat that. So, by the way, World Series exactas. Dodgers to beat Mariners, no surprise, plus 140, the short shot. Mariners to beat Dodgers, plus 265. Of course, a lot of that has to do with the current 2-1 lead for the Mariners, and obviously the current 2-0 lead for the Dodgers in the CS's. Longest shot on the board, Blue Jays to beat the Brewers, 50-1. Good luck to everybody playing that one.
Feels short.
Yeah, feels short. Feels like it should be a 0 on that. An extra 0. Thank you, Jensen. Always a pleasure, man.
You bet, boys. Thank you.
Jensen Lewis at JLew50, JLEW50 on Twitter. Coming back with more NFL awards.
Got a good thing coming. Just wait and see. It's a good.
The NBA betting season is tipping off, and VSiN's got you covered with our brand new NBA betting guide. We've packed it with key insights and betting trends, previews of all 30 teams, and of course, our experts' season-long best bets. It's the playbook you want in your hands before the first tip. The guide is exclusive for VSiN Pro members, so don't miss out. Sign up today at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Want to bet smarter? Start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out our NBA betting guide, our NFL and college football betting hubs for breakdowns of every game, and Steelers-Bengals preview. Later today you can check out Josh Applebaum's Thursday Night Football Sharp Report, Adam Burke's Week 7 NFL first touchdown scorer update. He hit Caleb Williams the other night, 18-1. And Jonathan Davis's NHL picks. Right now, you can sign up for as little as $9.99 to access all the VSiN Pro articles. Just head to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. We get tweets. Beating the book. Love y'all. Tronsky. Hey, Gil. I wake up with Dave Ross and Jensen. And as a fellow Spanish speaker, I appreciate what is now his third solid attempt at pronouncing La Piedra. My man. Pretty good for a gringo, he says. Might give some WTA a try. Kelly has weekly practice.
I caught that too, man. I hit the Google right after he dropped that. I was like, I don't know that phrase. And
you didn't know La Piedra?
No, I did not. The stone.
Does Roberto Duran mean anything to you? The former boxer?
Yeah.
He was Manos de Piedra.
Oh, really?
Hands of stone.
No, I did know
that. Was
I
his
did
nickname.
know that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or I knew the English side of that.
Shout out to Jensen. He gave it easy. He kept rolling with it.
He leaned into it hard.
Oh, and Jim Argent. It might be Jim Argent.
I like that better.
French for money, I think. But at Argent Farms, he says, Gil, Monday there could be a doubleheader in baseball too, I think. He is correct. I am mistaken. That is right. Potentially, there could be one more doubleheader. That would be Game 7 of the ALCS and Game 6 of the NLS, as we all chuckle together on Game 6 of the NLCS.
Right, yeah.
Right. But that could happen. Potentially, it could happen. You're right. Today, tomorrow, and perhaps Monday.
That would be an insane Monday of sports.
Oh.
We have a doubleheader in the NFL on Monday, too.
2 doubleheaders again. Just like, wasn't it this past Monday? It was also doubleheaders.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be cool. With a 6 and 7?
Cool. Yeah.
It would be. You know what, though? From just a tracking standpoint, I would like for one of those baseball games not to happen on Monday.
Yeah.
Let's. We did some NBA awards yesterday. We didn't get to all of them. We will get to some with Zach coming up.
Yes.
Let's look at, and by the way, on the NFL side, we're also going to look at most wins and fewest wins coming up a little later. That was a pretty interesting analysis.
Yeah, those markets shifted big time in the past week with the Bills dropping. It's an interesting one.
There's interesting bets to be made there. But let's look at NFL awards. A little NFL awards heat check.
I made a bet
on a Wednesday. Did you really?
Yeah.
All right, regular season MVP Patrick Mahomes. I heard of that guy. Plus 175. Baker's down to 3-1 now.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Allen, your boy, 3-1. Everybody else 16-1 or longer. So this is really, the market says it's a 3-headed monster, and that is it. What's your bet?
I think it's more open than that, Gil. I don't know that we're down to 3 here.
I don't either. It's week 7.
Right, yeah. So, we kind of touched on this, Monday, I think it was. I think there's some other guys you could throw out here and make a case for, but I'm not running to make a bet here.
I bet Baker earlier this week at plus 470. We do agree that if the vote was today, which this just in it is not, but if it were today, Baker is your MVP.
Yes.
There's anybody who says Baker would not be the MVP after multiple, cardiac arrest wins, I don't know what you're doing. Okay.
I mean, the next most acceptable answer to me, I guess, is Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
But
no.
Yeah, it's still Baker.
Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Or Sam Darnold.
What was the next one we wanted to do? Let's do Offensive Player of the Year. There we go.
Yeah, this is where I made a bet, Gil.
All right, Jonathan Taylor of the Colts, plus 175. Should he really be shorter than Bijan? Bijan's 4-1. Puka, who's hurt, it looks like, plus 450.
Can't bet that right now.
Jackson Smith and Jigba of the Seahawks, plus 450. Christian McCaffrey, 7-1. I'm surprised by that he's that high. Everybody else, 22-1 or longer. Your bet, can I guess who your bet was on?
Oh, please. It's going to take you a lot of guesses.
Oh, well, then never mind. Who you bet?
It's going to take you a lot of guesses. Look, I think the top of the board here is accurate. I don't know how you feel, but Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, if Puka doesn't miss too much time, and JSN, I think it might only be week 7.
Why is Rico Dowdle not on this board? What is his number? That's who I would bet.
I took a triple-digit shot. So we've talked about quarterbacks in this market.
Yes,
before,
this was my
right?
other theory here.
Talked about quarterbacks with this before. went and checked some of the numbers from last year and where it ended up. I think a lot of people might forget that Lamar Jackson finished second in the Offensive Player of the Year of voting last year. We always talked about Burrow. Could Burrow make that push? I'm doing the Burrow copycat case this year. And it is not Joe Burrow. It would be one Dak Prescott.
Aha.
So I have
didn't you bet Dak for comeback
player of the year? I bet him already there.
Bet him for everything, Kelly.
Bet him for everything.
Defensive player of the year, everything.
I took 150 to 1 on Dak this morning.
I'm surprised, based on what you just said about MVP, that you didn't bet Daniel Jones for offensive player of the year then.
For Daniel Jones? Yeah.
That's what I thought you would say. If you're so high on him for MVP, why wouldn't you play him for offensive player of the year? Smarty pants?
Well, you said if it ended today. I wouldn't bet him for MVP.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is if you think about him for MVP, if your thought was, what about him for MVP? Wouldn't your next thought?
My thought, though, was answering the question of if voting ended today. I have no interest in betting Daniel Jones to win MVP.
You don't have any interest in betting him anything?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would not bet him here.
Okay.
I would not bet him, period.
I would like to bet.
Rico Dowdle's 100 to 1.
That's who I would bet. In fact, I hate that I haven't bet it yet. Rico Dowdle, who's just coming off two consecutive most productive weeks of any player. Although Bijan might have something to say about that. Let's move on from offensive player of the year.
I mean, do you agree, though? I think that top, especially if Puka only misses a week or something, it's going to be tough to beat that top of the board.
I mean, I don't know that JT should be shorter than Bijan. I really don't.
I don't know about that either. I'm just saying those four guys that were at the top, I think those are going to be tough to beat.
Defensive player of the year, we really have a three-headed monster because they have the exact same number. Micah, Hutchinson, and Benito. Nick Benito of the Broncos, all at plus 330. By the way, finally, Nick Benito getting his flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett's at plus 550. Everybody else, starting with TJ Watt, 15 to 1 or longer. By the way, have we ever had an award where three dudes, Parsons, Garrett, and Watt, have remained in the top 5 year after year after year?
It's incredible. And if I had to make a bet right now, Gil, it would be the drift down to Watt, Will Anderson Jr., Jared Verse, and hope they get in the mix, back into the conversation here by the end of the year. Will Anderson's still been awesome. TJ Watt could turn it on and ramp up some numbers here, although I'm not as confident in him.
Devin Lloyd is the guy that we mention the most on guessing lines week after week. He always makes a play for the Jaguars.
Is he still leading the league in interceptions? I think he is.
He's the 99-yard pick six against Mahomes, but he's done other things every week. He always comes up. I don't know, man. This feels like it could be a Nick Benito year.
Yeah, still leading the league in interceptions.
I don't have any long shot.
Yeah, I think this is another one, right? Top of the board feels like it's probably going to come from that group. But can you get a little bit better number now than where we close at? Yeah, maybe.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jackson Dart has finally taken his place at top where he should be. Plus 125. Emeka Egbuka, who is now hurt, plus 290. So he's missing time. Ashton Genty and Tyler Warren, both at plus 550, and Tet McMillan's at plus 750. So, and there's Scatterbo, by the way, at 18 to 1. Quinshon, you love Quinshon, 30 to 1.
I do love him.
Bill Krosky-Merritt should not be that. It should not be 40 to 1. He should be longer. So I think it's always been Jackson Dart or Cam Ward. Cam Ward, by the way, 60 to 1. Obviously, he hasn't done much.
Wow.
Yeah, all the way down to 60 to 1. Is that a thought?
Dude.
You're still a quarterback.
You're still a starting
quarterback.
If I had to make one bet, probably.
If you forced me to make a bet, that's the one I'd make here.
I think good on everybody who got Dart tickets early, though. Like, I kept complaining about Price. He absolutely should be the favorite. I think one of the biggest reasons I wanted to run through this stuff today, Gil, is just that Egbuka number and that Puka number. Like,
you're hurt.
We've seen Puka Nacua with this for years now. It sucks. We love Puka Nacua. Maybe nobody more than the man to my right. He's great. But, like, injuries have been a thing with him, and I don't think you can really consider him an offensive player of the year right now at that number. And Egbuka, it's a grade 2 hamstring strain. Like, he's probably out for multiple weeks. Like, at plus 290, you can't go betting that right now.
Cam Ward's a pretty interesting play because we can't see it right now. Right now in the moment, you're like, what are you talking about? Jackson Dart, what a great bet everybody made. Yeah, we have a lot of time for all that to churn.
I agree with you.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, Abdul Carter plus 180, I guess. Jihad Campbell, Holy War, plus 290. Carson Schwessinger at plus 475. Everybody else 20 to 1 or longer. I mean, I guess. I don't have a thought on this.
Not me either. I mean, Abdul Carter, his number hasn't moved since he got drafted pretty much in Defensive Rookie of the Year. You don't even know how much of that is liability from the books, right? Like, that's the only person they bet on early.
This is the one where we asked Aaron Schatz, who is one of the 50 voters on this. He was like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Comeback player of the year, Kelly's favorite, Dak. Short shot, 2-1.
Still value on that number.
McCaffrey plus 250, Aiden Hutchinson 3-1, and Daniel Jones 4-1. There's Darren Waller creeping up at 18-1.
That was I think the biggest takeaway from our conversation with Aaron last week was how he at least would handle those two in comeback player of the year. Daniel Jones does not qualify based off the rules that we have. Darren Waller, he thought did. With coming out of retirement, different story.
Daniel Jones coming back from sucking is not a qualification.
Not a qualification.
Yeah. And then finally, coach of the year. Do we have that one as well?
I still think Dak's not a bad bet at 2-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Shane Steichen of the Colts plus 250. Mike Vrabel of the Pats plus 475. Liam Cohen of the Jags at plus 750. Wow. Mike McDonald still chilling at 18-1.
I know, man.
Really?
And I've bet him a few times. He's still got a shot for sure.
I don't understand why he is
that much further back.
Further back at all. I don't understand why he's further back at all. I really don't. 18-1. That would be the play still for me. Zach Cohen. Tennis, basketball, football. Next, numbers game. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
Lesson number 1, Patty's back. I still believe that Caleb Williams is not any good. And, other than Rome Odunze, I don't trust anyone that can't run the ball.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN.
numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
First Bet and VSiN have teamed up with a special offer, and today's the final day to take advantage of it. Open and deposit into a new First Bet account and get up to a $250 sign-up bonus with promo code VSiN250. Then place $100 in wagers within your first 30 days, and you'll unlock a full year of VSiN Pro, a $240 value. Already a subscriber will extend your subscription another year. For more information, go to first.com/VSiN. That's 1st.com/VSIN. Gil Alexander, we get tweets. Let me just read a few of these because Tim Murray standing by. I lied about who was next. Tim Murray standing by to talk college football with us. Primetime, Cowboys_1. Yo, peace and love. Jensen's sidekick, Dave Ross, is so much more than a host who draws huge ratings into your show. A U.S. veteran, Cowboys fan, Cubs World Series hero, ex-Cubs manager, commies hater, all of which demand respect from you. Give him his flowers.
Ex-Cubs manager, it's great.
I love primetime. Not a real fan of the Washington football team, that guy. Judd O'Connor, the way Dart plays, this is such a great point about what we were saying about the Cam Ward bet in Offensive Rookie of the Year. He said the way Dart plays, you have to hedge off with Cam Ward if you have a good Dart ticket. A big hit or injury takes Dart off the board. Perhaps with Cam, we get a dead cat bounce on his season. Michael Burns, preach on Nick Bonito, 60-1 pre-flop for Defensive Player of the Year. Good for you, Michael Burns. Well done. Well done. And Coach Harry Ellis, if the Giants finish 6-11, how is Dart going to be Rookie of the Year? Tyler Warren is likely to be on a winning team and should end up 1,000 yards and 8+ touchdowns. Yeah, but quarterback bias, Coach Harry Ellis. That's all we're referring to. No shade on Tyler Warren at all. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
But just quarterbacks have the inside track, and if one of those guys performs, it's really tough for somebody else. But you never know.
If I had to bet a non-quarterback right now, though, it would be Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren. Yeah. Was he 8-1?
Nah, plus 550
plus
down at DraftKings.
All right. Tim Murray joins us now. He's the host of VSiN Primetime, but for our purposes here today, he's the host of the College Football Tailgate Show, also the host of the College Football Betting Podcast as well. He joins us now, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line at 1. That's the number 1, Tim Murray. Timothy, good morning, sir.
What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm great.
I got 2 questions for you off the top. 1, I bet Indiana to win the title at 10-1 this week. Are you buying that is a possibility? Or are you part of this college football establishment with the blinders that until it happens, you can't see it happening?
No, I think this year I definitely could see it happening. Now, do I believe it'll happen? No, but after this past weekend, it's certainly hard not to envision a route for Indiana. They're going to, barring a setback, have a bye into the quarterfinal. And I think when you look at a futures price at 10-1 or better on Indiana, knowing that they're more than likely going to be in the quarterfinals, it's you're setting yourself up quite well. And look, how can you not be impressed by what they did out in Autzen on Saturday? That was not a fluky performance. The post-game win expectancy was 98.6%. This was a dominant performance by Indiana. And I think the 2 things that jumped out to me in that game were the responses by Indiana. You had the broken play touchdown for Oregon. They take the lead. How does Indiana respond? They go right down the field, score a touchdown. You got the pick 6. Places going nuts, tie game. Do they crumble? No, they come right back down the field. They score a touchdown. This team is different than last year. Kirk Cignetti, what he's been able to do in 2 years is honestly a miracle. This has never happened before that I can recall, where you see a football program. Basketball's different. A football program changed as quickly as Indiana has changed here. So am I going to say you're crazy for betting Indiana, a team that's probably power rated top 5, maybe top 3 by a good chunk of people? No, absolutely not. So I don't have that ticket, and I have not purchased said ticket, but I'm not going to say you're crazy by betting Indiana, a team that looked every bit the part as an elite football program last Saturday.
You're Irish. We've had a couple guests on here the last week. So we had Tyler Shoemaker, our own Tyler Shoemaker. We asked, I got to the top of college football. I'm like, okay, what's your ranking of Ohio State, Oregon, and Miami was the triumvirate at the time. Where do you rank? And he goes, well, the one that I have ranked most differently from the market is Notre Dame, meaning he had them higher. And we were like, okay, Tyler's saying that about Notre Dame. Then Dr. Bob came on, and Dr. Bob is sort of the voice of God on this. And he's like, I got Notre Dame second. You're a Notre Dame guy. Do you believe that? And what do you feel about their game against USC this week?
Well, this is the season, Gil. If they win this game, look at the schedule. They'll go 10-2, and I think the way Penn State has fallen off, a number of other teams have stumbled a bit. The SEC has a chance to kind of eat each other up. At 10-2, Notre Dame has a good shot of being in the playoff, and then I think the upside is certainly there for this team. This offense is the best offense they've had, I would say, conservatively in 10 years, maybe even further than that. And CJ Carr has a chance as the year goes on to become one of the best quarterbacks in college football. And that's not me being a homer. You alluded to some of the folks that you've had on that mentioned this team and where they are. The question always will be the defense. And the defense has played much better the last 4 weeks. But the top two teams that they played, Miami and Texas A&M, granted it was in weeks 1 and 2, they had their way, especially Texas A&M in week 2. So this is a massive test on Saturday night. But the thing that jumps out to me, guys, is where you sit on this Thursday morning. Circa Sports is at 10 and has not budged off of 10 all week long. They went to 10, I think, on Monday, and it has not come off. Now, will we see some USC support as the week goes on? It's certainly possible, but I think USC, with the injuries that they have at the running back position, that's certainly a concern, even though the guy who stepped in last week was fantastic against Michigan. But I think the upside for Notre Dame is certainly there as long as they can get into the dance. And obviously, to this upcoming weekend is massive for the Irish. So I think for me, when I look at this game, guys, Notre Dame, I think, really struggles in the slot defensively, and Mekhi Lemon is a problem for USC. So will Notre Dame be able to slow him down enough? You saw Casey Concepcion for Texas A&M have some big plays. You saw Craver also have some big plays. Malachi Toney in week 1 for Miami, but the defense, as I mentioned, has played much better these past couple of weeks. So no, I'll just say this, guys. I talked to a guy that I respect pretty strongly when it comes to his power ratings, and he had Notre Dame number 3. So, wow. I mean, this is not a homer thought on this one. I think Notre Dame national championship upside is certainly possible when you look at the prices that are out there at 16-1 or better.
You're so right about Mekhi Lemon, though. I think it was the Michigan game where he just dominated, just did every.
Oh, he's incredible.
Every which way.
20-year anniversary of the Bush Push.
Oh, really?
How about that?
I was there.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact for you.
Yeah. Also, the you know what else it is? It's the additionally, it's the what is it? The 5-year anniversary of Iga Swiatek winning her first French Open. Just wanted to point that out as well.
I was not. I was at the Bush game. I was not.
You were not at
Iga
Paris.
Swiatek,
Are you sure, Tim?
Well,
you sure?
It was the pandemic, Tim. Otherwise, you would have been there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Huge SEC week. Obviously, we have Ole Miss and Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. We even have LSU, Vandy. Not sure if you have a play in any of those games. Where are your favorite plays of the week?
Yeah, so I'll stay in the SEC, and I'm curious how both of these teams respond after the Red River rivalry. I love Texas last week. I thought people were getting a little bit too in on Oklahoma and expecting John Mateer 2 weeks off of a thumb surgery to just be great. He was awful, as we kind of anticipated. So now Oklahoma goes on the road to South Carolina. Look, this South Carolina offense really is bad. I mean, you look at some of the metrics, it is struggling. But situationally, I'm curious where Oklahoma's at. You lose your rivalry game, you've got Ole Miss on deck. So I did split a unit. I took a little under 43.5 and a little bit of the points with South Carolina. And then if you want to hold your nose, how is Texas, after finally feeling good about themselves, going on the road to Kentucky? Kentucky is not a strong program as they've been in recent years, guys, but this just kind of shapes up to be a weird spot, right? And, fortunately, we're in a city that has a book that has a full 7 in the first half with Kentucky, Stations Casino. I know that there's a lot of juice 6.5s out there, but I think Kentucky could make this thing kind of ugly against Texas. So a couple of ugly dogs off of Red River. I took a little bit with Kentucky and a little bit with South Carolina, and we'll see how both those teams respond after their, I wouldn't call it their Super Bowl, but their biggest rivalry game of the year.
Any rando play you have off the board?
Of course.
I like a rando.
Of course, I've got a
from you.
rando play.
Yeah.
I'll give you Purdue plus 3.5 against Northwestern after Northwestern fresh off of their win at Penn State. And then if you want to go super rando, let's go Florida Atlantic plus 21.5 against South Florida. How about this sandwich spot for South Florida? Last Friday night, they go to Denton, Texas. They smoke North Texas. Huge win for the Bulls. Next week, guys, it's a battle of the top 2 G5 teams out there, South Florida and Memphis. Florida Atlantic capable of scoring points. As we can get in that back door, give me 21.5 with the Owls. They'll be hooting in Tampa.
Hooting. College Football Tailgate Show, 9 a.m. Eastern with Tim Murray, solo host on that one Saturday morning. And then the College Football Betting Podcast already out this week.